Kunle Soriyan is one of the world's greatest resourceful talents. His skills, actions and opinions are admired and trusted by powerful minds and power centers everywhere, including many high net worth individuals in the public and private sectors. He is generally revered as a compelling entity making a real difference. He is a mastermind, daily and intentionally applying his unusual wisdom and ability to create optimism and freedom, chart a way forward, discern new vistas, open new frontiers and levels, display understanding and connection to invisible paths and trajectories of growth within each of us for businesses and institutions. For short, Olakunle Soriyan is a mind engineer. Please receive Mr. Olakunle Soriyan.
Thank you very much. So, I'm going to talk to you about my story very quickly, and I'm going to draw one or two ideas from that story, and hopefully that will be enough for my session. So I didn't finish in the first class, unlike my friend who finished in the first class. I finished somehow by a miracle with the fourth class. When I finished university, if I had finished with a pass, I would have shared an incredible testimony. I would have been so happy. If there is a lower degree than pass, maybe a CAS or a SAS, I would still be so happy, because at that time when I got a third class, my third class was like first class in my mind. And there are people in this room, you can never finish first class, and it's so important that I speak to you. I agree with my brother, get the best grade that you can. But if for whatever reason you don't get a first class, first in class is not necessarily first in life. Never, ever, ever forget that. You should never in your life, for any reason, allow human ideas about value to define your destiny. Academics is a very important instrument, but academics is not education. Academics is a human invention. Somebody in this world that never had a privilege of academics, when I see coaches, and I should tell you, I've read a lot. I have a lot of what is academics, almost every certification in my field. But I don't use my certifications to get clients in my field. I remember we were bidding for one of the biggest banks, and they were asking us, is this thing still seizing? Because the person using it will not know. Sorry, can you change the battery of this thing? Okay, so they asked me a question, and they were asking me for my certification that I had, but I refused to bring out. But I told the white lady who was talking to me, I said, can I ask you a question? He said, what is it? I said, the first person that certified people, who certified him? It's just a question. The very first person who certified people, who certified that person to be able to certify people. That is a simple assumption that you can draw knowledge from men and places, but you can also draw it from the universe. And it is so important that you understand it's bigger than any nation in the world. And the goal of academics is to allow for it's academics that allow us. This mic cannot work for me, honestly. I really need help.
Sure.
Because this is seizing. It's not going to help my thoughts because it's seizing. I'm going to say something important that's going to seize. Can you change the battery? It's the battery, just battery. You've changed the battery. Okay, let's try it now. Okay. All right, are you all here? So, where was I? Academics. Academics, at best, somewhere here. Here. Okay, I'm cool. Okay. Are you all here, please? So academics, what allows us to know the difference between a surgeon and a quack. Listen to me. Two people can put a knife in your tummy. One will wake you up 2 hours after. The other one will not be able to wake you up. The difference between both of them is that one is trained, the other one is not. You cannot use determination to perform surgery. You will kill somebody sincerely and you will go to jail. For you to perform surgery, you must be able to take your mind through training and submit yourself to human institutions. It's academics that allow us to know this guy can treat me. It's academics that allow us to identify who the lawyer is, who the engineer is, who the architect is. Academics allow balance in society and brings regulation. But if we assume for 1 minute that academics is education, we'll be making a big mistake. Education is the ability of the human spirit to experience its environment, to question it deep enough to find the options exist in it, and to know the options to embrace as a matter of supreme urgency and importance, particularly in a way society can be grateful for. No, listen. By that standard, a lot of people are not educated, though they have passed the test of academics. Passing the test of academics is passing the test of technicality, not necessarily of progress. That is why the most prosperous people are not necessarily those who have the biggest academics. I just find it difficult to operate from there. Sorry, I'm not used to standing on big platforms like this. I just prefer to walk in and do all of that, but it's fine. Are you all here? So I'm saying to you that academics is important for you, but academics is not the end of value. At best, it's a beginning. Now let me tell you something. I get admission to the university, first of all, in 1982, I was in Form 2. I've seen 10 years, 4 times, with some extras. So I'm pretty much like maybe three years or so away from 50. Even though I know I feel and look far much younger than so many young people. But listen, having seen 10 years 4 times with some extras, I've made some silly mistakes that I think you should know about. In 1982, my father had a lot of stuff in the house. There is a car in our house called a Mercedes-Benz 230 regular. So I was born with something close to a silver spoon in my mouth. In 1982, if you drive a Mercedes-Benz, your father must be a big-time entrepreneur or some successful government official. In 82, successful people drive Peugeots and 505s and, you know, those kind of cars. By the time you are driving a Mercedes-Benz, you must be very successful. But in our house, that's not the big house. I'm the only one in my secondary school who a car will take to school and the car will park till I finish school. Right. Now listen, I'm going somewhere. A Mercedes-Benz in 1982 is called a Bokun in the West. We call it a Bokun lawyer. When you sit in that machine, you are respected a lot. I remember the car is yellow OG 1450R, awesome machine. Got a lot of value and respect in our community. By 1990, my father was dying. My father died at the age of 84, bossing Molu in Lagos. Because by 1990, my father died in 1999. By 1990, we sold the last car in the house to find meaning, and that was that Mercedes-Benz. Things changed completely for us. And we had to begin to define life differently. So I realized that wealth is fleeting if not managed at a level. And I realized that success may not necessarily be a goal, but a useful experience that every human spirit should experience so that it can multiply value for others. Listen, by the time I was finishing secondary school, wealth had disappeared in my home, and I went left. My brother's 14 kids, 2 wives. My brother somehow could find value in the system, but I couldn't. I'm used to a particular lifestyle, so I went left. On the left side of life, that's where drug addiction is, party is, boys, girls, clothes, pressure, and think of it. I had my life full of all of that. I gained admission to the university to study a course 4 years after I left secondary school. Listen, at the end of first semester, I had 8 carryovers. At the end of second semester, I had 7 carryovers. At the end of year one, I had 15 carryovers. By the time, listen. By the time I got to final year, I had 52 carryovers. Listen up. Do you want me to talk? Listen up. 52 carryovers. I was in 100 level, but I wasn't in final year, obviously. There was no way I was going to graduate. Mystery. By the time I got to 400 level, I had become something like a virus on campus. I tasted everything from chewing gum to cocaine. My friends spoke about cultists who had names in places. I was a cultist. I had a gun. So I lived fully on the left. That was a time, I shouldn't talk about some things, lest I give you a negative inspiration. But honestly, my life was the opposite of my friend's life. Right? I am the unlikely. I was a black sheep. My mom had cursed me, and I'm not exaggerating, over 100 times. And justifiably so. My mom cursing me was a gift. By the things I have done, if she had killed me, it would have been fair. If she had poisoned me, it would have been fair. By the kind of pain I brought to my mom, cursing me was kindness as far as I'm concerned. Because those curses did not kill me, I'm still here. And I've since learned that a curse is only as strong as attitudinal cooperation. And Africans need to understand that. But ladies and gentlemen, that was how my life was. Final year, 2 months to final exam, I was asked to leave the university. I left with pride. I felt academics was not necessary, but I was wrong. Academics is very important. It is just not the most important. So I left school, 2 months to final exam. Have you heard about confident ignorance before? Confident ignorance is you know nothing, but you are not aware. So you carry your ignorance with swag and class. Right? That was how I was. I knew nothing, but I didn't know. So I was carrying nothing like something. I left the school proud, feeling cool, tried to travel, did all sorts of things, nothing worked. Then my life became really, really messy. Right? I'm editing it because some things I shouldn't say. I try to edit this story every time. So somewhere along the line, something happened to me one day in my bedroom. And what happened to me, those who are Muslims here, please, I'm not trying to harass your faith. If it was something Islamic that happened to me, I would have said it proudly. If it was Shango that came to me at that time, I would have been loyal to him today. But what happened to me that day was that my life was in complete turmoil. My life was completely upside down. I'd been rusticated in university. I had nothing. My parents were ashamed of who I have become. On my street, I was a proverb. Elders and parents used my name as the emblem of retrogression. They would say things like, do you want to be like they use me to talk to their children. Do you want to be like? Do you want to be like? Fast forward to today, I am now a bigger proverb. What they used to say is, do you want to be like? What they say now is, don't you want to be like? 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 Listen, listen, stay here. Stay with me. So what happened then was, I gave my life to Christ. I gave my life to Christ. Listen. I really wish you can stop clapping for a minute. I really wish you can stop clapping for a minute. Please, I'm not just trying to harass you. Just let me talk, please, if you can. I won't feel bad if you don't clap. I don't want you to clap, Seth. I want to say something. So this clap is really breaking my flow. So if you don't clap, I will appreciate it. Thank you very much. Please, I'm not trying to reject your love. Now, what happened to me was, I gave my life to Christ. The first instruction I received was to go back to school to start year one again. I went back to the same school, same course, same lecturers, same faculty, same organization, same institution, kids for classmates. I did 4 years plus the first 4, making how many? 8 years. The school won't give me a degree. They didn't believe in my transformation. They continued to use my track record on the left as the determinant and the standard of my transformation then. So I started a third time. So ladies and gentlemen, I did 100 level 3 times, same school, same faculty, same course, same lecturers, children for classmates, 200 level 3 times, 300 level 3 times, 400 level 3 times. I spent 12 years studying a 4-year course. Same school, same faculty, same institution. After 12 years, people get 2 PhDs minimum. After 12 years, I got a BSc, and that BSc was a 3rd class. Guess what? I live a 1st class life now. I live in a good house. I'm married to a queen. I fly business class anywhere. Not that I'm proud of it. Hey. It's not that I'm proud of any of those things. The business class means nothing to me, except that it means something to my history. And it's important that I underscore that. And I speak to those who sit here today, because you have before you blank check. And I used to think I had it all figured out. But I found out later I have nothing figured out. But guess what? I pushed on with my life. My first business was refuse collection. Well, you don't know what that was. Refuse collection was my first business. Do you know those people that push carts from house to house? From the home I came from, there's nobody in my time that started that before me. In fact, except that I have no proof. What I would have loved to say is that I started that in Lagos. But there's no way I can justify that. If I put that on Wikipedia, they will reject it because I cannot validate it. But trust me, I didn't know anybody who was using carts to collect refuse way back then. But that was what I had to do, and it was, you can't imagine how shameful that was. I was pushing refuse where I've had a girlfriend before in VGC in Bagada. It was really tough. But guess what? Guess what? Life dealt with me so much, I learned a lot about it. I learned a lot about it. And I saved some money doing refuse, I started investing in barbecuing. I bought 24 second-hand barbecue books. I read them all through. I have no passion for barbecuing. Barbecuing was just selling at that time. And that's why I say to people try to wait for what makes them tick, you know. There are big motivational talks about finding your purpose and finding your passion and finding what makes you laugh and what makes you jump. And all of those things you should do if you have the time to do them. But woe to him that will not do what he has to do. May he look for his bed and not find it if you see an opportunity and you refuse to take it in the name of waiting for your passion. At that time, all I had in my life was this hand, this brain under God. And with those 3, I made up my mind, I will craft a space for myself under the sun. I stayed true to that commitment. And then saved some money, started doing barbecue. I made my first 1 million naira making barbecues that I have no love for. I made my second 1 million naira making barbecues. Now, I've dumped, I can't even imagine myself doing barbecue. For the past 20 years, I've been laboring as a knowledge expert. studied everything studyable, went everywhere possible. Now I speak across the globe. Now as a futurist, I train watch. I do so many things right now in my life, and there's so much power in my life right now, and growing, as a matter of fact. So, standing here, looking at you young people, I can tell you for free that somehow I've been that, I've done that, I've seen a lot. I can advise you. Whatever I'm going to say to you from this moment on, please don't take it lightly. Let me talk to you about some of you. I look at all of you in this room. 90% of you in this room, you are from very poor homes. You need to be very humble with yourself. If your parents were rich, you will be in a private university or you'll be studying abroad. The fact that you are in FUTA means there's some type of discounted value in your family, and you need to respect that. I don't care what you do or how you pose in school. I don't care how you make your hair or how you put up your biceps and do your sagging. Your father never sagged, your mom didn't sag. All these ways of working, all these things you do, nobody in your family ever did that. You pick all of those things from the idea that there's something superior called a westernized culture. There's something superior called an American culture. And you guys have believed all of that. What has happened to us is that we've traded who we are. Let me tell you something terrible. Right now in this country, English language is a determinant of your progress. If you mistakenly say shush to a lady, you probably will never find the girl of your dream. If that girl believes in you for any reason and takes you to her father, and then you say to her father says, where are you guys going? You say, we are going to church. We are the one in charge of. Once you talk like that, hello, stay with me, please. Once you talk like that, the father will let you take 2 steps away and call her daughter. You have not found your husband. Except the father is also a church-speaking father, so that by sympathetic resonance, he can agree with you somehow. But honestly, I know a boy who came to my house to meet his cousin that came to Nigeria on holiday from the UK to raise money for his taxi cab. He came to raise money for his taxi cab. I knew him. So I asked him, why are you raising money for taxi cab? You were brilliant when you were in school. How come you are not in the university? How come you are not working in a big corporation? He said, oh, I tried. First of all, I finished with 3 credits. Then I tried again and again. 4 credits. What was it you were looking for? English language. I couldn't pass language. This guy speaks good grammar. So I said to myself, you cannot speak English language? Which subjects did you pass? He said, I passed economics, I passed government, I passed commerce. You passed economics, government, and commerce? Please, what language did you use to pass those subjects? He said, he used English language, of course. Oh, so you could use English language well enough to pass 3 other subjects, but the English language that you use to pass those 3 subjects, you cannot pass it. I said, that is a big idea. The big question for me is, what is the goal of lingua franca? Is it sophistication or communication? Because if it is communication, our boy can communicate not enough to pass 3 subjects with the same English language. It means when the examiner is testing this guy's paper, when the examiner is marking his paper, he's not testing the use of English. He's testing the technicality of English. Meaning that no matter how well he can speak, if he cannot tell the difference between a pronoun and an adjective, or he cannot tell the difference between a clause or a phrase, he's not going to pass, regardless of how well he can use that grammar. Then lingua franca has to be about sophistication then, not communication. But the thing is, this English language is now a determinant of progress in your country. It's not my fault that I cannot speak English language. It's not your fault that you cannot speak it. If I speak Yoruba badly, then shame on me, because that is my gift of nature. If I speak English better than I speak my language, shame on me as well, because that is not what came with me by nature. But let's assume, for whatever reason, we have accepted that we will use English language to communicate. Stay with me. English language, if it is communication, if I say I'm come from Lagos, all of you know what I mean. What I mean is I came from Lagos this morning. If I say I'm go to Lagos later this evening, you all know what I mean. If by the purpose of lingua franca, I have communicated. But if I say I'm go to Lagos, you guys will say, who is this blast from the past? You will laugh at me, you will scorn me to nonsense, because I have refused to pass the standards of another language, even if you understand what I'm saying. It means your clarity about what I'm saying is not your intention. Your intention is to define a superiority in my life because of what I cannot attain to that you probably have even naturally. Stay here. Stay here. Stay here. Now listen. Now listen. Now listen. Pidgin English is a good definition of lingua franca. There's no such thing as terrible pidgin. Pidgin is not an embarrassment anywhere. Pidgin is the proof of a people's struggle with an original language. There's Pidgin French, there's Pidgin German, there's Pidgin Igbo, there's Pidgin Portuguese, there's Pidgin Yoruba, there's Pidgin in every language. Pidgin is what Mourinho speaks. Pidgin is what Clemens Westerlo spoke for 6 years as Super Eagles coach and won matches, and anybody understood him. All the biggest coaches in the world are speaking Pidgin English or Pidgin French or Pidgin Japanese. You see, the idea is nobody is growing because they are masters of any language. In your country, except you are a master of a language, there is a lead on how you can progress. There is a lead on the jobs you can get. There is a lead on the people that can love you. There is a lead on the steps you can take just because you are not a master of another language. Now that's fine. I speak this language and I do very well at it. So I'm probably the most qualified or one of the most qualified to speak about the English language this way. What I'm saying to you in essence is that you are underdogs. You are underdogs. You are going to use this English language to find progress in a land that somebody has been hearing that same English language from his womb. For some of you, you were taught English language in Yoruba. For some of you, your teachers struggle with the language. You struggle with the language. You are two dead bodies trying to enter one coffin. And there's somebody in Corona who learned this language naturally, who speaks it better than you can ever speak it. You have to find another way to define your strength. You have to respect what providence has dumped on your legs. There are people in this room, you are no-name people. If you continue your arrogance and continue to embrace the wrong ideas, sagging around town, feeling cool, saying yo around, you are just going to be one type of photocopy at best. And if you have brain at all, go check it. Everywhere they're requiring value, they ask for photocopies of your documents as an initial expression of your value. When it's time to give you the job, give you anything valuable, they are going to ask for the original copies of your document. It means if you master your life as photocopies, you will only hold first the space till the original comes to take your place. So you have to outgrow that limits of being fake and begin to embrace a new type of coloring, a coloring of strength, of clarity, that comes from knowing what is most important and knowing what you should give your time and your energy to. Ladies and gentlemen, there's no such thing as a future. Let nobody fool you. A future is not existing. Nobody has ever been in the future before. A future is a concept. It's not an ideology. It is a simple philosophy, a romance with what is not necessarily true, but agrees with our emotions. Nobody is in the morning just because he thinks he's in the morning. When you are in the morning, you are feeling the morning, so you say good morning. When you are in the afternoon, you feel the afternoon physically, so you say good afternoon. When you say good evening, you are in the evening. You can feel the evening and its breeze and its coolness, so you say good evening. You will never have the misfortune of saying good future to somebody. You will never be in the future strong enough to feel it like you feel a morning, an afternoon, or a day, because in practical terms, a future does not exist. Today was once a future. Yesterday was once a future. The next 5 minutes is a future. When you get there, you are going to call it, stay here, stay here, stay here, stay here. You are going to call it today. You have never been in the future. Nobody has ever been in the future. When we arrive in 2060, we are going to call it today. Moment now is all we have. Yesterday is an experience. Tomorrow is nothing but an idea. Today is your critical platform of exchange. And you need to begin to respect that and value that differently. Let me tell you something. Tomorrow is just a simple concept to keep over. Sit down. Sit down. Don't stand behind me. You distract me. Don't stand behind me. Are you here? No, seriously, you have to sit down. Don't do that. Hello, stay here, please. I'm going to round up very soon, but I can't take that behind me. You know, I left a lot to come here. You don't come and time me. Sit down. I'm going to round up very soon. I'm sorry, comedian, but sit down first. So stay here, please. Are you here? I don't have time to rushing. I need to close. I know I'm running for time myself, so I need to get out of here. Now the idea is, if it's me, it will distract me. So now that's it. I get so distracted so easily. What was I saying? Future. So I'm saying the future has to be something you can hold now. The idea of a future is to keep optimism alive, to keep hope alive, to keep us enthusiastic about something, to keep us energetic, committed to an idea. In practical terms, that future does not exist. When you finally get to that picture in your head, you see, you're going to call it today. That's all you've got. So let's return to today. Today is our madness or our sanity. Let me tell you, 12 things define lunacy. 12 things. There are two types of lunacy. There is docile lunacy. There is extreme lunacy. So there are docile lunatics and there are extreme lunatics. Whether docile or extreme, all lunatics are defined by 12 traits. I'll give you one of them. One of the traits of lunacy, whether docile or extreme. Before I define it, let me tell you who extreme lunatics are. The people who are naked on the streets, who you see just going, they are extreme lunatics. They are lunatics who look like me, who drive jeeps and Range Rovers, who live by the beach in Lekki or somewhere, who travel abroad for summer, who live in skyscrapers, who have big houses, because some people are so poor, all they have is money. Stay with me. And then you have some type of value in myself that can make me feel like I'm normal. By the test of popularity, I look normal. By the test of essence, meaning, and purpose, I can be insane. What makes me insane or normal are 12 traits. One of them is that whether docile or extreme, all lunatics can leave a point without a destination in view. There is nobody normal that can do it. There's nobody in this room that can live where you are without a mental photograph of where you are going. You can't even stand up. Once you stand up, you must have something. You must have an assumption that is making you stand up. You just don't do stuff. If you just do stuff, that means that you are a lunatic. If you can do it, if you can leave a point without a destination in view, you don't need motivation. You need therapy. You need treatment because something's already wrong. Now, everybody in this room, you cannot leave a point without a destination in view. That is why you see madmen on the streets. They are just walking. They have been able to leave a point without a destination in view. Even if you are going for a walk, you know you just can't be walking to Jos. You have an idea of where you will stop walking and come back. You can't be walking, they find you in Ekiti, you say you are still walking. They find you on Redeem Camp, you say you are still walking. They know you have walked. So the idea is, you know, I'm going to stop at some point. What I'm saying therefore is, for extreme lunatics, that's their definition. For docile lunatics like me, how does that define my lunacy? People move into a whole day without a photograph of what they want to see in that day. People move into a whole month, into a whole year without a mental photograph of what they want to see in that year. People move into a whole decade without a photograph of what they want to see. They look normal, but they are not less lunatics. They just fail the test of meaning, but they are passing the test of popularity. By popular standards, they are normal. By the test of essence and meaning, they are abnormal people. The idea that they could move into seconds, they could move into days and weeks and months without a mental clear photograph of where they are going. The idea therefore is this, guys, stay here. The idea therefore is this: what are we going to do now that will make the difference in our lives? What kind of actions are we going to take? I'm going to summarize that in 10 minutes and I'll get out of your face. Pass the test of universality. There's something called the test of universality. There's something called the test of locality. What you have around you are people passing the test of locality and fooling us with the flawed standards of our community as the instruments to aspire to. Those who are shaking the world. No, I want to call our daddy's name. Yes. Yeah. Dr. Matthew was simply make us a leader, right? That's such a powerful thing to hear. Because that's what I want to challenge you. This continent is suffering. By the end of today, about 2,500 children are going to die by the end of the year. Let me show you. Every month in Nigeria, 300 women are going to die. What is going to kill them? What's going to kill them is childbirth complications. They are going to die trying to give birth to a baby. 300. In this country, I was called to be a part of one silly committee to ask questions about why planes are dropping somewhere in 1995, 1996, 1997. Why are planes dropping? Remember those when planes were dropping in Nigeria? And then this committee is going to come together to say, why are planes dropping? I was part of the committee, yes. First day, I couldn't say anything. Second day, I couldn't say anything. Third day, I couldn't say anything. The chairman of the committee asked me, Mr. Soriyan, you are a very vocal guy. Why are you quiet? It's the third day of this committee sitting. You are not saying anything. I said, because every moment in this committee, I'm depressed. He said, what is depressing you? I said, because I look at us and I imagine us are coming together to analyze why about 2-3 planes have dropped in the last 3 years. And then we are all cool. I said, that is how many people in one plane? 150 people. If we worry about 3 plane crashes, we are worried about 450 people. Every month in Nigeria, 300 women are going for childbirth complications. That is how many plane crash? That is 2 plane accidents. By the end of the year, that's how many plane accidents? That's 24 plane accidents. At the end of 2 years, 48 plane accidents. Imagine 300 times 12 times 3. So imagine that we've lost over 1,000-something people to plane accidents, to malaria, to childbirth complications. I'm not talking malaria now. And then to imagine that we only lost 450 people to plane crashes. The big question therefore is, why is there no committee on the 3,000 plus women that have died from childbirth complications? Why don't we have one committee? I'll tell you. The reason why we have no committee is because of who is dying. It is the poor that are dying. It is the voiceless that are dying. So it's understandable that they should die. And then why are we having committees about 3 plane crashes of 450 people? Because it is the rich that are dying. Because it is the middle class that are dying, so to say, if there's any. So the question is, what are you going to do? I can assure you that there are some people here today, every time doctors go on strike, if you are sick in your family, you are in stress. Because you treat at the general hospital. I don't treat at the general hospital. I treat in a private hospital. No matter what is happening in Luth, no matter the strike they go for, my doctor will open his doors and treat me. The doctor that went on strike in Luth, when his son is sick, he's going to treat that son. So it's not on strike, actually. Just selecting the platform of his disengagement, right? So the idea is, who is going to speak for you? You know what you are waiting for? You are waiting for the government to get it right. You are waiting for somebody to just organize and just help you to grow. See, nobody wants you, just in case you don't know. You know those who want you? This guy and his family and his children and all those who are putting these kind of things between them. They are those who want you. But guess what? Even if nobody wants you, can I shock you? The greatest disservice is not that you are rejected by others. The greatest tragedy is that you reject yourself. So even if nobody wants you, you want yourself. Want yourself enough to insist that you have a space under the sun, a relevant space under the sun. I have made up my mind that by the end of my life, when I'm going, this world should know that somebody is going. Billions have come, billions have left unnoticed. Nobody knew they came, how much more that they left. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to ask you to rise up, not physically, as in rise up in your thinking. Take fresh challenges. Think about global ideas. What can you do that can put you on the same pedestal with your American counterparts, with your French counterparts? No matter what you do here, please don't rejoice. Don't rejoice except the Americans can respect it, except the French can respect it, except the Germans can respect it. Decisions made in Tokyo can change your life tomorrow morning. Decisions made in Beijing can change your life tomorrow morning. Stop impressing the local minds around you. Start thinking of the test of universality and look at your age mates in France, your age mates in Paris, your age mates in Silicon Valley can think about stuff that when you hear, all you'll be doing is pretending you are hearing, because first of all, you don't even hear the English, and then you're going to act the part and be laughing all through the conversation, because that's what Nigerians do when they listen to a white man. Then they get to laugh. That is the worst of us. Listen, what I want to challenge you with instead is to say, what can I bequeath to society? Nigeria does not lack successful people. I am not in a hurry to teach young people in Africa to succeed. Unto what will that success be? Look at the pedigree of success in Africa. Have you gone to Morebi Hall in the evening before a Unilag? When you go to Morebi Hall in the evening, you are going to see the biggest cars packed. Lamborghini Countach, Porsche Carrera, Range Rovers, Mercedes-Benz. The best cars are packed. Who has parked these cars? 50-year-olds, 55-year-olds, 48-year-olds. Who have they come to meet? They've gone to meet their younger sisters and their daughters. What is their goal? To put their hands under their blouses and to put their hands under their body and put their backs on the wall on the bed. Why are they trying to do this? Because they've succeeded. Because they've made it. So even success has a nuisance value. Nuisance value is the value of your contribution to the underdevelopment, disorderliness, and irritation of society. Let me finish. I have 10 minutes more. I have 5 minutes more. That is nuisance value. Listen, these guys have succeeded. To date a girl when you are 21, you need a poem. When you are 19 and you need a girlfriend, you need a good poem. When you are 48 and you need a girlfriend, you need a check. Because affair is a budget once you are over 30. Once you are 35, once you are married and you need a lady in your life apart from your wife, you have to pay for it. Poems don't give you girlfriends at 52. Poems don't give you girlfriends at 58. So the people who have girlfriends at 58, even though they are married, are those guys who have extra money in their pocket, not to develop the system, but to grow the strength of their stomach, to grow the weakness of their own excesses, to indulge themselves more, and to crack the meaningful fabrics in our nation more. So may anyone in this room not succeed. If your success is going to multiply our pain and our sorrow, if your success is going to reduce the peace of our children, if my daughter and my sons are threatened tomorrow because you are going to make it, may you not make it. May you look for space and not find it. May you struggle and never find space. Accept your space. But if your success will grow this nation, if you are going to succeed to make others succeed, if you are going to do what Mr. Odumaki is doing, then you have understood that you have been taught to teach, assisted to assist, you have been built to build others, you have been raised to raise others, you have been supported to offer support. Your comfort, hey, look, I need to go. Your shoulder is a comfort zone for the weak to rest on. Your very comfort is the beginning of the comfort of those that we see tomorrow. So what is my counsel? Two counsel. Embrace the pipe principle. Be a pipe. What is a pipe? A pipe has no plan to be wet. A pipe has no plan to be wet. The goal of the pipe is to pass out water to those who are thirsty. No matter faith of the pipe, even if the pipe has no commitment or no plan to be wet, whether he likes it or not, once it is passing out water to those who are thirsty, the pipe will be wet. Therefore, success is not a goal, it's an experience. It's what happens when you make it happen for others. Focus on how you can grow your community. Focus on how you can be that assisting quality, that comfort zone, that succor point. That's what you should be. Take a second look at success and define it as the very instrument that gives you the capacity to offer capacity to those who need it as well. Your critical goal is to push others up. I met a guy called Georgie. Georgie is about the second or the third richest guy in Mozambique. Georgie is very close to Will Smith. Will Smith practically made Georgie and gave him a lot of money, $4 million, supported him. I met Georgie and we got talking. And Georgie said, I asked Will Smith, do you know Will Smith? You know Will Smith? He asked Will Smith, how can I say thank you to you? How can I say thank you to you? Will Smith said, you want to say thank you to me for all I've done? You can't give me any money. I have jets, I have money. What you can do to me is succeed so crazily that you can make somebody else. Then Smith's son, they were in the car one day with Georgie, Jedi, the wife, Will Smith, and his son. And they were asking Will, and the son asked Will Smith, Dad, he said, what? Can we ever starve again? Do you think we can ever starve again? And this is what Will Smith said to him. This was Georgie, his friend. He was in the car when he was asking that question. He was telling me. He said, Will said, son, if all we have is cars and private jets and homes and big things and big businesses, we can still starve again. He said, the only thing we will have that we will never starve again is that we have helped too many people to starve again. Number two, we have too many good people in our life for us to ever starve. So he made a point to his son. The security for meaning in life is the people you meet. At the end of the day, make investment in people. Stretch out from your comfort zone and think of what success has to mean to you. Ladies and gentlemen, that is why you will make it. Every African lost his right to take care of his stomach alone. There's too much pain in Africa for anybody to think of making it just for himself. You have to think of the next brother and the next sister, and think of the next space and those who need it. That is the only reason why this family have left all their comfort and all that know to come in to give so freely. I've done the maths. I see this investment. I do this too. I've done the 6 states of Nigeria. I've done my Zero to a Hero seminars for years. I know how this works. And then look at the former minister coming here, burning precious hours. This level of success, time is a lot of money. To invest this here means something. Let me tell you how to say thank you. Don't say thank you by coming here to hug, to emails and all of that. The only thank you can do is to make your life so count, that 20 years down the line, you will run into these guys. You will run into them asking for stipends. You will run into them, both of you flying business class, going to a conference in the US, in the White House, to deliver a speech. You are delivering a speech on agriculture, is delivering a speech on non-profit or something. The idea is, where are we going to meet again? Where will our paths cross? I don't know where I will meet you again, but I know where I will not meet you. Because I'm not going to drop. I'm not going to fail. I'm going to meet you only if your life can pump value. Pump value into your life, man. Make up your mind that you are going to do something. You know your name. You are Shakiru. You are Jayi. You are Femi. You are Bode. Your surname means nothing. They don't know you in Man U, Chelsea, where you argue who is the best player every day. You lose a friend arguing who is better between Messi and Ronaldo. Foolish content. Let me tell you something. Foolishness is not an insult. It's a state of existence. It means there is a set of behavior. Let me finish. It means there is a set of behavior that conforms to a definition. As you cannot call a carpenter a surgeon, you can't call a wise person a foolish person, or call a foolish person a wise person. Some people are fools. Some of your friends are fools because they have made up their mind to sustain the type of beliefs and principles that weaken the system. Ladies and gentlemen, you have to define yourself differently. The second point is think global. The strength of a material is in its universal appeal, its global weight. This boot is a boot in Nigeria, in Syria where there is war, in Iraq, in America, anywhere. It can't be a boot in Ekiti, in Akure, and be a slippers in Lagos. Once you are fat in every economy. Once you are tall in every economy. You can't be a millionaire in Naira and be a thousandaire in pounds. You are never a millionaire. Once you are a millionaire, you are a millionaire in any currency. If you want to be a millionaire tomorrow, and that's what I'm saying, just take 10,000 Naira and run to Zimbabwe. Once you get to Zimbabwe, you become a millionaire straight away. You'll be buying a loaf of bread for about 4 million Zimbabwean dollars. Only you will be eating bread, $4 million. You'll be giving tips out. I traveled sometime, I was giving tips out, $1 million tip, $2 million tip. But I was giving, one time in Ghana, I used to travel to Ghana, I was giving people tip at the airport, 500,000 business, 2 million cities. I called my wife, I said, honey, I've made it. In the last 15 minutes, I've given over 5 million out. But 5 million CDs. So it's not enough to have the numbers. It's only enough to have the essence, right? So the essence is pass the test of universality. You have too many people in Nigeria who receive red carpets. By what standards? By passing the test of locality, failing the test of universality. Once they cross the borders of this country, nobody knew they arrived in that country, how much more that they have come to do something. You need to erect a different type of value. When Mark Zuckerberg came to Nigeria, everybody received him. We knew somebody had come. In our country, we have a law against gay. We don't want gays to stand anywhere. I don't hate gays. I don't support gays. I think they need help, but I don't judge gays. But gays is a law against, there's a law against gays in Nigeria, against homosexuals. But this guy came to Nigeria, Richard Quest was everywhere. Everybody was receiving him. Nobody was arresting him. Nobody was saying anything wrong. All the people were happy to receive Richard Quest. But Richard Quest is gay, a public declared gay. But everybody was cool because once white shows up, our essence goes out. Once black comes in, our prejudice comes in. Once white shows up, our essence goes out. Once black comes in, our prejudice comes in. Ladies and gentlemen, we need to outgrow those small limits and begin to think global. Somebody should stop dreaming about owning a car one day. A car is not a testimony. It's a tool of effectiveness. A car should bring, listen, a car should bring efficiency, speed, and effectiveness into your life. When you go to church to torture church members that you bought a car and then they are rejoicing with you. This is poverty and poverty enjoying sympathetic resonance. Muslims, hello, let me finish. I need to go 2 minutes more. Hello. Can I take 5 minutes more? Can I take 5 minutes more? Can I take 5 minutes more? Listen, just 5 minutes. Listen, the person who is testifying is not testifying about the power of God. He's not trying to give God glory. You know what he's doing in church? He's celebrating an escape from his history of poverty. He's rejoicing that a machine has come into his life. That machine is not being celebrated because of his essence or his purpose of efficiency and effectiveness. No, he's celebrating and rejoicing not because of what the machine has come to do in purpose, but because of how many people don't have it. So, in the poverty of the majority, it defines his own superiority. That's a small mind, and there are so many of them around. Outgrow those smallness. Think of owning a made in Nigeria car, at least. Better way, think of making Nigeria's first car. As we have under the name of a person, Mercedes-Benz, name of a person, Toyota, name of a person. We can have Ajayi, name of a person, Fred 2.0, name of a person, Coca-Cola 3.0, name of a person. Stop dreaming of flying abroad, business class. Think of being on the of plane manufacturing company, or think of one, or think of even making a plane. Think of big ideas that impact on GDP and per capita income. Things that can create jobs and help people in every economy. Stop fooling around, buying shoes and perfumes and feeling cool and expressing the definitions of what makes an American and compromising your own authenticity and originality in the process. Time will not permit me, I have to stop now. But in stopping, I welcome you to a different world. In this world, there's a different meaning, a new type of definition, a new type of strength, a new type of honor. Listen, a new type of focus, a new type of focus, a new type of thinking. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going. Just listen. Remain standing. Everybody here, put your hands up this way. Your right hand up this way. Now say after me. This hand. This brain. Under God. Say it again. This hand. This brain. Under God. Will take me as far as God can provide. I will rise. I will shine. I will do the deeds. I will run the race. I will focus on the needful. I will climb the highest mountain possible and fly the flag of support there. Now hold your neighbor. Because of you, I will find my place. But more than that, because of me, you will find your place. God bless you and God increase you.
Wow. Wow. Awesome.
Ladies and gentlemen, come on, make some noise!
Wow. Futarians, wow. Do you want us to have part 2? 5.0. When? Now. So, let's put our hands together. Wow. Awesome. All right. Awesome. So, 5.0 will be this. Hello? 5.0 is going to be this. If you were thrilled, you were challenged, you were inspired, you were motivated by Mr. Soriyan's presentation, you can have 5.0. So, at the stand, at the side, after the conference, please rush and pick your book. What's here, please? 3 CDs.
365. This one is 365 days. Let him speak.
Mr. Kunle. Hello, Mr. Kunle. Kunle, please, can you talk? 1 minute.
5.0 already. Okay, so these products are very expensive and I'm not sorry. Right? So they won't be for everybody. But if you can afford it, I'll advise you to get it. Let me tell you about this product. Every year, because I'm a futurist and I use prescience and trend watching to pretty much determine what happens in the next 365 days. So every December, I gather 100 professionals into a room in Lagos. The last one we did was December 18, 2016 at Lagos Sheraton Hotel. And then we gathered 100 people and showed them practically what is going to happen in 2017 and how they need to make their options and how they need to decide. Let me let you know this just in case you don't know. 2017 is not a new year. It's only new to new people or to those who don't understand. 2017 is a bridge year. What you do this year can correct what you have done in the last 10 years and any error in it. What you do this year can determine what you will enjoy or what you will suffer in the next 4 years. So what I've done here, 2 DVDs, 4 audio CDs, 1 devotional calendar, and a bonus CD on resolutions. How many of you have noticed that everybody is wise in January? Have you noticed? Everybody is wise in January. By February it will be tested. By March, tested. By April it will crack. By May it will have disappeared. It's called resolutions. Resolutions are designed to fail, right? There's another way to articulate resolutions. I call it resolutionary thoughts. So I've put them all over here. 2 DVDs, 4 audio CDs, that CD on resolutions, and a devotional calendar on your table. If you want to invest in it, it's 20K. For days like this, we do it 10K. It's not for everybody. But if you can afford it, go for it. It's like 90% less than the price of Brazilian air. I can see Brazilian air or some ladies here. So definitely you can afford it. So go for it. Then I have my Trove Pack here. This one is even more expensive. Like I said, these stuff are very expensive and I'm not sorry. This one goes for 50,000 naira. It's 25 CDs. 25 CDs. I know you won't have cash here. For those of you who are interested in buying. So I brought POS machine. So that once you swap the card, the money comes to me, you take the product, right? So if you're interested, but you want to buy these for your friends or for whoever or for your team, please just talk to my team. There's a stand out there that you can go. If you can't afford it, your time will come, right? Don't feel bad. Your time will come, but nothing is free. Thank you.
We have Mr. Soriyan back right here on the green carpet, and just after his session, everywhere has gone lit. I mean, to say the least. So you spoke so much, and I could see that you were not speaking from here. You're speaking from deep, from somewhere. Everyone is just wild at your session. How would you describe it? I don't know where to find the words. How would you describe it?
Well, you know, for me, I'm not even sure it needs any type of qualification. I just have a conviction within me that people can be better if they know better. People can do better if they know better, right? So somebody has to make the investment to try and get people to see the issues. There's a way we can dress all of these things and make it look like we are saying something when actually nothing is being said. So the idea is to disrupt people's thinking and help them to govern behavior differently. Allow them to be able to see clearly what it's all about and to be able to make the most intelligent decisions, right? So I think that's what I've tried to do. And that's what I try to do every time. It's not as if I'm trying to qualify my session in a particular way or make people feel in any way, you know. I just want people to get it, to know that life is designed in a particular way, and if you can align, you know, you can see the issues, you can get it done.
I mean, while you were rounding up, you came up with a set of quotes. If you can recap that.
Yeah, I said that this hand, this brain under God can take you as far as you want to do. It's your duty to share space and to create that space for yourself and for those who depend on you. I believe every African have seen so much pain, and there's too much pain going on in Africa for anyone to succeed for himself alone. There must be a part to take care of what you can take care of, because what you can do is what you can do. But everybody should have at least one person, 2 people. I'm convinced that if you make 15,000 naira and you are single, you have lost your right not to be able to spare 1K to support somebody else, right? There are people in this school that can support somebody in your class. People can help somebody with 200 naira or with 500 naira or something. You know, there's a lot we can do if we all believe, if we all can believe in our common destiny. You know, so that's the kind of thing I believe in and I'm trying to share, yeah.
Absolutely, and this is really very important, because a lot of young people, like you highlighted in your speech, that people succeed for themselves just to oppress others, just to show everyone that they've arrived. Now, I would like to say your final word for young people. You've said some of those things to them there, but for young people that are not opportune to be in this conference, and you have a word for them in attaining destiny, what would that be?
Well, my advice to young people is to know that they have a duty to themselves. You know, somebody was talking about how Gowon was 32 when he became president, how Awolowo was not 40 when he became premier. But who was competing with Awolowo? At that time, everybody doing stuff were young. There was no old person. It was just pre-colonial era. There was no old educated people. So there was nobody ahead of the young people that was controlling the system. It was the whites that were controlling the system. So it was only young people who were around, and it was only young people who were competing with themselves. Absolutely. So Gowon did not do anything special by being young and being the president. Everybody that could be president was young. Everybody that could be governor or premier was young. Awolowo didn't do anything fantastic, right? Now, young people are facing a more complex issue because old men are in charge of the system, right? And they are holding it. And then every thinking that we are young people, you are going to have to make up your mind to assess power at a level. Now, this is the thing. Nobody's going to give you power. You have to take it, right? Nobody's going to give you your place. You have to insist on it, right? So nobody gives you anything. Nobody gives you what you deserve. You get what you negotiate. And what you negotiate intentionally. That is what young people need to understand. There's no pity party anywhere. Nobody's just going to come and hand you handouts, right? You have to figure it out. You have to find those who have figured it out, connect to them. Look for the most important things to embrace. Stay true to them. Ignore your friends because most of your friends are fools. They don't know what's going on. They're just busy sagging, keeping beards, and that's what they are doing. Now, sagging is not a factor of production. You can't take sagging to the bank and collect money. You can't go and work like this in the bank and collect money. Your brain has to be working at a level for you to assess a dime. Otherwise, pick a gun and go and rob. But if you're not going to pick a gun, you're not going to peddle drugs, your brain has to be working at a level. Meaning, you have to invest in your clarity. Buy books, invest in CDs, follow the right people. So I'm not a billionaire, I don't have a lot of money, but I've got something up here, right, that I can offer people. You don't come around somebody like me and be asking for money, right? There's a lot I can give. But young people have to transcend the limits of shoes, clothes, perfume, cars, and all those things. And think of the empires of the mind, big projects they can be responsible for. That's my advice for young people.
Mr. Soriyan, thank you so much for your time.
Too.
God bless you, sir.
Thank you. God bless you too.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.